Challenge activity 8.2.1, hypothesis testing for two population proportions. We're looking at a left-tailed test. A state housing department is trying to determine if housing prices in County B are lower than in County A. The department decides to randomly sample recently sold houses for both counties and determine what proportion sold for $250,000. Since County A is considerably larger than County B, the housing department chose a larger sample from County A. The results of the data collected are shown below. So let's go ahead and pull our numbers from this Excel output. So we have our p-value is right here, 0.085. Our z is that z-score. It's negative 1.372. Our n, oops, did not mean to hit that. Our County A samples, we have 700. And our County B number of samples is right here at 400. The sample proportion for County A is right here. It's 0.523. And our County B samples proportion is 0.48. Let's check that. All right, let's go to the next one. All right. Manager of a coffee shop is trying to determine if drive-through customers buy fewer items than customers who come into the shop. The manager randomly samples both populations and calculates the proportion of customers in each that buy 3 or more items. The results of the data collected are shown below. Let's look at our population parameters. Again, no sample sizes. We're seeing a lot of the same. 2 sample means, nope, we're not looking at sample. So right here, when it says the proportion of all customers in each category that buy 3 or more items, that is our population parameter. Our level of significance here, we have confidence level, 90%. That translates to a alpha or significance level of 0.1. What is the null hypothesis? Remember, that is always that P1 is equal to P2. Now, this is where I want to point out, and I mentioned this in an announcement, but I want to reiterate here, there is an issue. It should be this one, that P1 is greater than P2, because we're testing to see if the drive-through customers buy fewer items than customers who come into the shop. That would mean that the proportion of people that buy 3 or more items is lower for P2. So you would assume it was this one. However, there's an issue with the system and the wording, and it actually needs to be P1 minus P2. Again, I mentioned that in an announcement, but I just wanted to clarify it here as well. So it should be P1 is less than P2. And then here we would say should, and you can even see, it's even kind of a weird when you read through the thing here, but let's just focus on the conclusion and not necessarily the interpretation, because it's kind of weird given the alternative hypothesis setup. Should H not be rejected, or did H not fail to be rejected? Well, right here we have a p-value of 0.44, which is quite a bit bigger than the level of significance. That would mean that we fail to reject H naught, and that would mean that we would typically say there's insufficient evidence to support the alternative. All right, so let's check our answer. See, there's a green check mark. But again, there's an issue with that alternative hypothesis. We have reported it, and we're trying to get it fixed as soon as possible, and I'm sorry for that confusion. But I do want to make sure it's clear what it should be. So if you have any questions about that or anything else, let me know.